Hey everybody, how are you? Let's turn the music down a little bit. Welcome to the beautiful weekend that we're having. I'm in Tokyo and it's not raining, blue skies, which is unusual for the rainy season. I hope that this finds you all doing pretty well. In this live stream, we're going to be discussing the video that I made on YouTube on the new channel, the John Dub Only in Japan channel, and I want to talk to you about the Naked Man Festival, which is this amazing festival that takes place in the winter. And yeah, it's pretty insane and intense, and it's cold, but there's a reason behind it. And I want to share with you the video that we have here. I want to go over the social media that we have for Only in Japan because it's a new channel and there's still a lot of questions, but I've started a new channel. It's called John Dub Only in Japan, and you can see the channels right here. These are all, including Patreon, by the way. If you want, where is that? I have the postcard here. I have this month's postcard is right here. This is Kanazawa, so you can get all that on Patreon, which is patreon.com Only in Japan. But these are all part of my world, and you're also part of my world, so thank you and welcome. We also have the Discord server, which we'll go to after we talk about... Welcome to Noboribetsu. This is one of the famous onsen towns in Japan. Now, I'm not here just for the onsen. I'm here for a festival. Japan has 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And there's a lot of... We're going to be talking about that video. Let me see if I can get the audio capture here. Welcome to Noboribetsu. This is one of the famous onsen towns in Japan. Now, this video just for the onsen. I'm here for a was festival. Made in
Japan
February.
Has 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And there's a lot of really amazing...
This video was made in February, and it was so cold at the time. But when I looked at it, seeing the videos of the... And there I am in Miyazaki. If you looked at the pictures for this Noboribetsu festival, you had to do it. It was like... It was so insane. And there's the animated opening. All right, I gotta get out of here. This is awesome.
In Japan.
That's right. That is Peter's voice there. And I wanted to hook people. So right away, I had to show the insanity of this event. And just images of dudes in Japanese thongs called fundoshi is exactly what I think would work to get you to watch until the end. And then I showed a little bit of the wooden phallus, which is like a what moment? This is I like to start off with maps, because if you don't know where I am, you can't place it mentally where I am, then the video doesn't have as much meaning. So being able to see where this is in Hokkaido, see the volcanic influence that this town has, and why they have a great appreciation for the water in their town, and why this weird festival, which is like bizarre, is placed solely on their respect for water, which is how they make a living. But a wasteland. This music is awesome. The sulfuric egg smell will linger, sometimes wafting towards the hotel. I remember finding this music, free music on YouTube, and we can use this royalty-free stuff. And I was like, whoa, this matches this Wasteland video. This is Wasteland music, and it just worked so good to complement. Like this place doesn't make any sense to me, because just on the left and right of it are lush forests, beautiful places, loads of wildlife, and then there's this, which has nothing. It looks like a desert. It's so bizarre, especially in the summer, because Noboribetsu is such a, like, Hokkaido is such a natural place. This is a guide, Yoshie, and I wasn't sure whether or not I needed this interview, but I always think it's good to meet local people when you're doing a video like this, and she's not from Noboribetsu, but from the area. And I thought that this was good to show, like, people do speak English here. It's a resort, and they're used to that. But this here, yeah, the rotten egg smell, Gary. You could smell it right here. This is right in the square, and I love that they put this here. I guess this spring's been here it's a geyser, and the geyser isn't always exploding with water, but it, like, most often is. Like, I think they said, like, 12 times a day it will explode for like 30 or 45 minutes, then go quiet again. But it's so loud. It is so loud. And if you've never seen a geyser, you can see it here. It's awesome. And it just splatters on the top of the roof there. And the steam goes all over the city from this one park. It's an amazing scene. And that in itself is a reason to kind of go and visit Noboribetsu. But as you can see, I love talking with people. And naturally, just weird things come in, like the smell. It was as though that... she didn't even think to mention that it smells funny because she's so used to it. That's the thing. Noboribetsu also has a lot of really good attractions. I'm looking at some of your comments as well, by the way, trying to manage this. They have a bear park, which is really sad to visit. They have an Ainu museum, which is renewed, which is really beautiful and now a lot better than 3 years ago. And then they also have this, which is in the winter, one of the only accessible attractions, because in the summer there's so many things to do in Noboribetsu as well, but in the winter, because of the snow, it's dangerous to go hiking, so you can't take advantage of the natural world so much, except for this. This is the Oyunuma river, and it's slippery as heck. I fell down there, but the water temperature was amazing. It was 40 degrees. It didn't make any sense again. You take off your shoes right here, and you walk in, and you can walk over to the waterfall, and it feels good in between your toes. There's no rocks in there, and it's weird. It's so warm. It's like, why is this warm? This warm river in the winter, to me, was just really amazing. In Only in Japan style, I like to make and produce these videos in segments. And I have a foot bath segment, I have an opening segment, map segment, and now this is an Oni segment, where you can learn about the Japanese Oni, which are trolls. See them everywhere. I don't know, just when I think of, like, devilish stuff, I think of like rock music, like really hardcore Ozzy Osbourne type level Iron Maiden artwork things. So for me, this seemed to match the Oni's image. I got this Oni also, when I hitchhiked in 2003, was something that takes me back to 17 years ago. So I've done this for almost 2 decades now, pouring water on them. I got permission to film in the public onsen, and this took like 2 days to get the right person to say yes and beg him, please let me film for 20 seconds. I need this for a scene in the video. And they let me film in there. When people were in there, they said, a guy came and he goes, excuse me, YouTuber is going to be filming. Is that okay? I hope everyone's okay. Nobody said anything. And then I brought a camera in. So people really didn't care too much, which was interesting. This is the start of the festival. Here, just listen for a second. So this year's 2020's Onsen Festival was really subdued compared to years past. They usually have a lot of events, and this year, because of the coronavirus, it just was starting at this time. We didn't have social distancing and things like this, so yeah, everybody was required to wear a mask, and I had a mask on too when I was filming this, which is a good thing, but we just didn't know a lot about it then, and they didn't know whether or not to And also this official from the city, also, we didn't know whether or not this was going to continue. And the decision not to cancel happened about a week before. And I was really glad that they didn't, because it was really early on in the pandemic. Setsubun, do you see them throwing the soybeans? Setsubun is a holiday celebrated nationwide where the father of the house will wear a devil's mask, or the man of the house, and then the kids will chase them throwing beans. And it's a way to there's lots of meanings, but I think it's like a way to purify and get rid of the bad and evil spirits and purify yourself and start over. Mr. Clayton, snow and craziness. It sounds like my childhood in Buffalo. This actually, you should do an underwear run in Buffalo in the middle of winter. Would be pretty funny to do. I think here's the start of the event. This is where I go in and wear a fundoshi. This is exactly. I look forward to these. Because they're a challenge. It's a real pain in the neck, and this is not a view that. This is like a view that I remember coming in like, whoa, okay, it's real again. Another Naked Man festival, and this fundoshi is very different than the ones that I've worn in the past. The one in Okayama and the one in Miyazaki were different. Miyazaki's was like a Brazilian bikini, see-through one, and this one was all the way up to your chest. So it offered a little bit more warmth, which I think everyone was really happy about. And it also taped up the beer gut, which it happens, when you in the winter, you don't go out too much. Yeah, Zane writes in here, my wife laughed when I heard John's voice go up about 110 decibels. That happens when someone throws hot water on you, or hot water, and you get cold real fast. You're gonna scream, man. It's intense. I'm surprised I wasn't screaming here. Fundoshi naturally loosen up in the rear, but it takes some time. It's really in there. I remember it just seemed natural for me to lift up the flap and take a quick look, and what I saw was a disaster. Like, you don't want to look underneath there. I couldn't let the camera angle. I had to zoom past that a little bit. Hey, Greg Kawaguchi's here. How you doing, Craig? That was tough. They didn't give me a wedgie like they did in Okayama. I guess they didn't need to do that. The guy who put the fundoshi on me had been doing this for like decades, and he does it in a more polite way, thank goodness, because nobody needs that level of pain. I'm surprised there's not like blood stains on some of these, because wow. Now we got the booze flowing. Do you see that? That is the sake, and I don't know, the old timers bring it, and every single religious Naked Man festival, the priests and the monks, they tell you at temples and shrines, do not drink sake. We want you to be pure in mind. But you can't tell the old timers to stop drinking. And if they give you sake, you kind of have to drink it. So I only had about literally like 3-4 sips. I'm not insane. It's cold, right? Thunderbeard, it's cold. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I think it's good, though, to feel a part of the group, to do some of the stuff that the group does. But make sure, if you do participate in a Naked Man festival, don't drink too much. Don't drink before the event. Don't drink after. And once you put your fundoshi thong on, you're not going to the toilet again until it's done. And for the one in Okayama, that was like 2 hours. This one was only about 45 minutes. But I think we had this on for about an hour before we started, though. So maybe it's roughly about 2 hours you have to have this thong on. This is great to see the young guy. And if it wasn't for peer pressure, I don't know if any young people would take part in this festival. Peer pressure in Japan, like if your boss tells you got to do something, then you got to do something. And it's great that he came out, and I know he loved it. He had fun. Raymond Centeno writes, was sake the only thing they had to keep you warm that night? Yes. And each other. In these Naked Man festivals, you kind of huddle up. Is that a snow angel or snow demon? I was still trying to figure that out. But you would huddle up with the group, and you'd go like this, and you yell the word washoi, washoi. It's a way for the group to come together as one. And I learned this years ago. We yelled that because it like every single person is individual, but when you yell it, you feel together as a group, and it's important to take care of everybody in your group. So washoi, that's the meaning of it. I thought that was interesting. WRX Turbo, thank you. It's good to see our group here. That was a snow angel, writes in Brendan. All right, now I'm in battle mode. This is battle mode. This is battle mode, man. Because you have to have this thinking. If you're not in battle mode, you're going to freeze out there. You have to have this energy and maintain this high level for the whole period. If the moment you let down, it's over. Shane is back. Sorry, I don't think Irvan is here, Shane, so you're going to be okay. The leader of the group. There's the note on Washoi. The start of it was almost comedic. Listen to the music. The music is almost comedic as it's kind of skipping a little bit because a lot of processes going on right now. Yeah, it was just cold. I really was screaming like a girl. I don't think there's any way to avoid it. There's no way to avoid this, okay? Look, these dudes, and look at that guy running. Look, did you see that guy sprinting? Ah, that was so funny. This is Narita-san with the camera on a snowbank getting this view, and he did a good job. He wasn't used to the camera, but he did a really good job. It's hard to... Oh, Irvan was there. No. You two are funny. Oh my gosh. Vic, thanks a lot for that. Pearman is in the festive mood. I see. Very cool, because right now they're gonna throw snow on me. Battle. Spectators welcomed us. Why are they throwing snow? Right here. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? What are they doing? We're already cold. Why would they add to the coldness? This was much colder than the one in Okayama, the first one, and way colder than Miyazaki. Hokkaido is like Japan's Alaska, okay? It's like Yukon, but not, because Yukon is way colder, and so is Alaska. And probably Sweden and Norway and all the other countries. But it's Japan's version of it, so. This water was hot. This was our savior. And our downfall. All right? So the water keeps you warm, but when you're wet, you cool off so fast. And my hair was actually did have ice in it. It was iced up. Okay, here comes the screaming.
It's so cold! The only way to stay warm is to put the oil.
This is my favorite part.
It's like really freezing cold!
That scream was for real. All right? Screaming was a way to keep me warm. All right? When you scream, you generate a lot of heat. And you feel that passion, you know, that you're in. Look, you remember that scene from Full Metal Jacket Show me your war face. That's my war face, man. That's it. You gotta show it. This is battle. You have to believe in this, okay? I believed. I believe more than anybody else. I don't know why no one else is screaming, okay? I wanted to win. I was ready to go and tackle the people, all right? But I didn't know the rules, but I figured I would follow everyone's lead, so I ended up not tackling anybody, which is good. I don't know what would happen if I tackled somebody. But the rules are simple. All right, he got the headband. This is what they call a cavalry war. And 2-3 people carry one dude like a horse, and you try to capture the flag. And the meaning is if the red flag captures, the water temperature increases, which is good for the onsen. If the white team wins, then the amount of onsen increases, the amount of hot spring increases, and that's good too. So it's like a win-win. And then this happened. Like, this is an omikoshi, okay? So for those of you who don't know, and I didn't mention this in the narration, I'm sorry about that. This is an omikoshi. This is God. This is Kami-sama. All right. You see, he's wrapped up, put on the same thing that you would carry an omikoshi with. So you have to treat this. It's not just a wooden object. It is a fertility god, and it's going around this steaming hot. The cold weather and the hot water is the reason why it's steaming like this, which is incredible. It adds this mysterious smoke, and it's been like this every year. But the fertility god is very important for this town because the population is decreasing, and they know that. And it's kind of, I thought it's really nice that they add this to the festival. It looks weird to everybody, but it's perfectly normal, really. It's perfectly normal. Mr. Clayton, Kanai was laughing so hard. You have no idea, Mr. Clayton. Kanai was in stitches watching this. Nobody stayed. This is awesome. Nobody stayed. We all just ran. And there's my bottom. That's like one of the only times that it gets airtime. I was freaking. I've never been this cold in my life. This is, I'm not faking this. It's that cold. It is so cold. You're soaking wet, and it's probably like minus 10 or 11 now. The temperature's certainly gone down. And like, it's worse than a freezer, okay? You're in a colder than a freezer without jackets wet, all right, and naked. It's awful. Awful. But I loved it. I loved it. This is also a good feeling to thaw out in the bath after it's done. It's a great feeling because you finished something. You completed something, and it didn't have a lot. I didn't understand exactly everything at this point, but I just know that I just completed something significant. That's how I felt. And it was a very, very good feeling. And I have this euphoria, this really warm glow and feeling.
I really think that it's important to try these kinds of local festivals. You might not understand why when you watch it, but there's always a historical background to everything that you do in Japan. That's Japan. That's Noboribetsu. This is the kind of festival that I live
So you can see, like, I really feel good after doing this festival, getting warm again. The body lives off of these kinds of shocks, I think. You have to shock the body sometimes, and I was shocked for a long time, not just from the pain, but that was a real scream. Hey, Marty, thank you. To victory. That's right. And this is the ending of the first episode. Now, this is a first episode, so it's only going to get better from here. That's what I'm telling everybody. It's the second and the third episodes are pretty good, but it's going to get better and better with time. And I think that's really what we can take away from this. I wanted to start off with something that had a lot of impact and was different than other Naked Man festivals that I've done. This is that story. This is that kind of a story, I think. A bizarre one. And the purpose of me starting only in Japan, I've already been over this, but after 2011, there was a lot of misconception about not just Fukushima, but about Japan in general. And the show's purpose was to try to show Japan and correct some of those Western misconception, like this octopus tentacle thing where people get off on that. Like, I've never seen that. And like maid cafes and stuff, they're not that normal, actually. Or people dressing up and walking around in blue hair. That's cool, but it's not the norm, and it's kind of like very weird in conservative Japan. But the subcultures, the counterculture to what is the norm in Japan is so tight and so conservative. The counterculture is so bizarre. That's what's amazing. Because of the high level of strictness of the society, the subculture or the rebellion is even more massive. And that rift, that creates the Japanese subcultures, which makes it awesome. The kind of thinking. The thinking is radical in Japan because of the strictness of general society. That's what I love about this place. And I'm somewhere in between. I don't even know where I am. I'm just somewhere in between, just watching it all, and it's awesome. This is I don't think it's weird at all. I just think it's just part of Japan, and it's always been like that. That's less the norm in Japan and more the norm in Akihabara or Harajuku. You won't see people outside dressing in goth or cosplay. People don't really do that normally. They do that for maybe cosplay events, but you don't see people walking around in cosplay. But foreign tourists do that, which is cool, but I don't want you to know that that's not normal. And this festival is not normal, all right? This festival is unique. I think so. Thunderbeard writes in here, thanks for sharing the real Japan. This is why I keep coming back. Respect for you participating. Thunderbeard, thank you. And you know what? When you come to Japan and you travel somewhere and you have an opportunity to take part in something bigger than yourself, some kind of festival, you have to do it. And I said this in the end of the video. You will never feel closer or have a better understanding of Japan until after you actually participate and see what it's like. And that's not just in Japan, even in your own country. After you participate in something, you really have a better understanding of it. It's just, that's the way it is. Jeff is here. Hi, I hope to one day experience the festival myself. A great documentary. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Jeff. Listen, there are so many Naked Man festivals in Japan. It's not just Noboribetsu. It's not just Okayama or Miyazaki. I've been on a Naked Man festival on 3 of the 4 main islands of Japan. There are actually hundreds of them. And there's local ones that even Japanese might not even know about. And that's what makes this really cool. The they called it the Noboribetsu Onsen Matsuri, or the Noboribetsu Hot Spring Festival. And this actually is only rooted in history going back 40, 50 years, in the 1970s, I believe. That's it. And the reason why was because in the 1970s, that's when this onsen town started to really grow. And they wanted to make sure they never forgot. This is what I love about Japan. They didn't want to forget what was really important to their success, which is the water, which is the blessing of the water from the volcano that comes to their town is why they have jobs and why they have success. And they didn't want to forget about that. So every year they do this festival in a religious way, because when you wear a fundoshi thong, Japanese thong, it is a sign of purity, saying that you're giving your body as it is. And as one man said, every year he feels renewed. It's a way to get rid of the impurities. And I felt like that at the end. I felt so alive. Like after I participated in the Nebuta Festival in Aomori, when you dance for 2 hours to the music, at the end of it, you feel so alive. And those are the reasons why participating in festivals is an amazing cultural experience. And that in itself is a reason to come. Never mind what you look like, if you're too big or you're too skinny. Nobody cares in Japan. Nobody is pointing at you, to the warriors out there. Only you are. And the same when you're in a bath, going into the bath. It doesn't matter what you think you look like. Nobody is going to be pointing at you because we're all the same. And this is the thinking that Japan has that maybe Westerners can't comprehend. We're all the same. We're all equal when we're naked. And that's the feeling that people have. Of course, there's people that are bullied when they're younger, but I've seen some, strange people participate, but we never saw them as being not equal. Everyone in that group there, and it didn't matter that it was a Westerner, we were all equal. We had that feeling. Whether it was a company president or the lowest kohai, we were all at the same level at that festival. You see? That's what I like about it. And then when we change back into our clothes, then maybe it's a little different, slightly. Yeah. Eric Swanson's here. How you doing, Eric? Thank you guys so much for the support, the channel support here. Yasmin, so much history. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. Thanks so much for watching. Gary writes in, go to a kite festival. There's so many amazing festivals in Japan too. There's like I haven't even scratched the surface. The thing with the festival is it's very hard to cover them. And I took some criticism from people. It's okay. I kind of smiled and laughed at it. Unless you have a team of people with the cameras getting wet, there's no way to get perfect audio or to get perfect video close in a water festival. It's impossible unless you have expensive cameras and a professional production. That's why you don't see a lot of YouTubers doing this and making good videos out of it. How many have you seen doing a Naked Man festival successfully? I don't think that too many can do it. It's very, very hard, and the editing is hard to try to fix the colors, low light, things happen. It's not easy. Brendan writes in here, thanks for sharing a cool story. Noboribetsu, my wife and I will visit that town one day. You should. Stay. You know what? If you go to the Sapporo Snow Festival, make sure that you book like 2 nights at a hotel in Noboribetsu. Stay in a cheaper hotel in Sapporo. Save your money. Use that at an onsen resort. It's amazing. If you do not spend time at a Japanese onsen bath at a hot spring, and you come to Japan because you're afraid to get naked in public with other people that don't look at you at all, it's insane because you feel so good afterwards. You're going to kick yourself for not having gone into a public bath. I spent my first year and a half, and I never went to one because I was like, I don't want to get naked with a bunch of strangers in a bath. I felt like this for the first year and a half. And then there was a situation where I had no choice. The only bath was a public bath at a hotel, guest house I stayed in. So I walked across the street to the public bath. I took a bath, and I soaked in this big bathtub for about 20 minutes, and it felt so good, I got hooked right away. I said, why don't I take more baths? Why have I been taking showers? It was the greatest feeling in the world. And you can get over the cultural hump, so to speak. And once you do that, then you start doing what Kanai and I do, which is we rent a car or we travel to onsen as part of our vacation. We literally travel to hot spring towns, and that's our vacation. We'll spend 2 or 3 days there. That's the amazing thing with Japan. I think I just saw... Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get all of... to say thank you for giving super chats, because I do really appreciate that, guys. I try to make sure I hit all of these. Do you have any questions? I will take some of your questions. While I do take questions, I'm going to be hitting our Discord server, which has a few people in here. There's Peso, UFO Bob, and Nosh Abroad is here. Hey, how you doing? I don't know if I can hear you over there. We're trying to do an audio check. But I'm looking here. If you have any questions, you can also write in. You can write in on the chat as well, and I'm looking at that too. Did you not own your own original channel? Carlos, I'm not really going to talk about this. I think I've explained it more than enough. Mad Hatta, we're all in this together. Yes. That's when you're in a festival, you're all in this together. That's the feeling that we need to have. And I think that feeling resonates in not just in the festival, but in any community. There's Jim coming in online. Is there some lagging? Yeah, maybe there is some lagging. I often wonder what creates the lag. I don't know. It could be just the so many programs opened at the same time. I've ordered a new computer, so that should be here next week. Kanye. How come the real Fozzie? Some people write Kanai's name as Kanye. It's spelled Kanae. There you go. That's how you know Kanai's name. And if you say it fast, it comes out sounding like an I sound and like a Kanai, but it's actually Kanae. But it's hard in English when you talk to make that Kanae sound. I don't know. In America, everyone just called her Katie. Okay, the computer's running out of RAM. That could very well be it. Let me see if I can free some up by closing some windows here. All I know is that the Discord is running just fine. How you doing, everybody? So I can't hear the audio here. Let me see if I can even in Discord I can't hear audio, which is weird. Maybe I have to turn on the settings. I don't know, it's always kind of. All right, I guess we can't really do a conversation, but I guess we can do a wave. Pesos there. I don't know. We have some technical difficulties here with this, but it's nice to see the community here. We have a wonderful Discord server, and we need your boost. So if you're a Discord a user, do come over and give us a boost, because we use our server quite a bit, and we really would appreciate a Discord boost, because we have, I think, 31, and we need to stay over 30 to keep our server strong. So maybe we can get a few boosts out of this. If you do boost, you have a chance at winning a postcard. And this month, I'm bringing back the postcards, free postcards for boosters, if you have a good chance to win. So I can take questions from. Yeah, Discord boosts are very helpful. Thank you, Hello Hi 821. Absolutely. We have and boosters have their own chat room on Discord too. When you boost, you get boosted too in your level. Warren Moore, do you know any foreign programmers in Japan? Is it viable to try to find a job over there? Yeah, that's a hard thing. I think the first thing that you have to do is make sure that you can speak Japanese. I want you to think like this, all right? Because I know some programmers here. Polling on Discord, right? Thanks, Nasha Broad. There's some polling on Discord, which I think will be pretty interesting on the logo design and on naming and things like this. So if you want your voice heard, you can come over to Discord server and give your opinion on the direction of Only in Japan, as well as be an insider or a traveler by joining on the YouTube channel. That makes a huge difference, and it helps a lot, especially since the new channels has like no it was just like monetized a month ago. I made a grand total of $84 this month on the new channel, which is a lot different than where I was before. I'm not complaining, but actually it's really awesome to be starting over and not have the same kind of I guess my motivation on the new channel is a little bit different now. I don't feel like I need to get subscribers. I just need to make good content that feels good. That feels really good. Barry Q writes in here, thanks for bringing Japan to my living room. Thank you, Barry. Thank you very much. I got some amazing episodes too coming up. I'm working on the Kanazawa one as well as our fan shout out video. The viewers sent us their videos, and I've been putting that together, and we'll probably release it very early in the next 2 or 3 days, and then at the end of the week we'll get another video, maybe on Kanazawa or on another topic that I made. But I want to get the videos out at least once a week compared to 2 times a month before. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to the pace going, but once the machine starts pumping out videos, then there's no end to it. It's just part of the job and part of the fun. And I'm going to be on the road quite a bit for the next year. Hopefully Kanai can be coming with me. $84 is a good start. Actually, Jody, it is pretty good. And I have our community to thank for that. I mean, a lot of news YouTubers can't make anything for a very long time. It takes a long time to build a community. It really does. And I'm very fortunate to have the Go community, the live streaming community that I built, as well as the people that are finding me from the past content that I made before. As you know, like I was the creator and producer of that show. I wasn't some kind of talent. I did like everything. Like I gotta keep telling people this because people don't understand what I was doing over there. I did like everything. It's hard work. So I'm happy to start over. I only made 30 cents on my YouTube when it was monetized. Daniel, I'll go check out your channel, and then maybe you can make that 31 cents then. I'll give you a view later on. Daniel Haskins, thank you. John, you covered so many things on the old channel. Do you think you may tread some old ground on new channel, like going back to specific islands? I don't think that there's any reason. If a content or an episode is made, I'm somebody who feels very strongly there's no reason to do the same topic. If it's been already covered on YouTube, why would you do it again? However, with that said, if there's a way or an angle that's different, a different approach to it, then I would consider that. But there's no reason for me to go back and do the exact same things that I did before. It doesn't make any sense because that content is already there. It's nice to revisit places, but unless the story is elevated or pushed ahead, there's no reason to do that. I wish Ando, it's okay to tell people to say my name. Okay, Ando 1135. Are you happy? It's all right. You don't need to have it. I'm reading all the comments. If you do give a super chat, I appreciate it, and you give thanks by reading it. That's what you do. It's just polite. For context, $84 is roughly 8,400 yen. Yeah, it's a good meal. So think about that. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. But this is my job. I don't do anything else except for YouTube. So that's not true. I do have some clients that I make videos for, but it's not a significant amount. This is my job. It's different. If your salary is $84, that's not that good. The Vandenberg family in Canada. Hello, Jen. We love watching your show. Thank you to the Vandenberg family in Canada. Stay warm. It's actually warm in Canada now. I know, because the Canadians are saying minus 9 degrees Celsius. Are you kidding me? It's minus 50 in Yukon. It's like, whoa, okay. This is like summer to you. So stay warm or cool, because Canadian summer is pretty cool too, I'm sure. Let's see here. I'm reading some of your comments. John, you're moving forward with your new channel is a great refresh feeling of your content. My family and I enjoyed the first episode. Thanks again, and keep up the good work, from Mr. Jimmy. Thank you, Mr. Jimmy. I appreciate that very much. Maybe one day there will be a Screaming Man Festival. That would be pretty. I would win. It would be tough competition. There's some good screamers out there. It's easy to scream when someone throws water on you in sub-zero weather. It really is. It's easy to scream. I thought you work on NHK. You know what? I don't consider that a job. I consider that like, it's like when I have free time, I do it. And it is a job, but I'm not an employee. They don't pay my health insurance. It's a freelance job. So they call me when they need somebody, and if I can go, I go. If the topic's interesting, I help out. I have a lot of respect for everybody at NHK World. I love doing the show. It's so much fun. But it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money for the time that you put in. It's basically like beer money or something. So I appreciate being able to be on the show. Unless you're like an employee or a regular on a show, then it's different. But thanks for asking that. I think we have there's an NHK episode coming up in 3 days. Let me see if I can get the link for you. I'll be in that. I filmed an episode of Tokyo Eye 3 days ago, and they've already edited it, and it's going to be on the NHK World in 3 days, right? That's crazy. 2 days, 18 hours, and 6 minutes in the studio. And again, like it's maybe like $100, $200 or something. You know, it's not chopped liver, but it's not something that you can pay rent with. But it's a good job, because in the beginning, when I started, you have to use your experience, your resume, as a way to get access to get filming. So being a reporter on NHK is actually a good thing. It builds trust with people, knowing that if this big TV station trusts you, then they're going to trust you with their content, because getting access also means that this company is giving you their reputation and trusting you to make good content. And that's hard to do when you start off doing YouTube. It's very hard. Minus degree. No, Yodo8232 writes in minus 9 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's not that cold. Only laughs the Canadians, right? Only the Canadians would laugh. And maybe some of the people up in Lapland and Finland and Russia might be laughing, but very few people can say these extreme cold weathers are normal. Did you cut Chris Pepler's hair? No, actually, when I got there, he'd already gotten a haircut, so he was fine. He didn't need my clippers. Although, you know, I did suggest that next time he wait until I come. We have so much fun. Look, when we make a show at the studio, it's actually really hard work. We have to study the script and go over the way we're going to be talking to each other. And then there's like 5 cameras in the studio. Okay. It's in a green screen room. There's about 20, 30 people watching you. So it's a live audience, and you're in a chair, and you have to react naturally to the navigator, to the host. It's not something that you can just do without practice, I think. And the first couple of videos that I did for Tokyo Eye I was really, really nervous, and then it just kind of goes away. You just be yourself and trust that people trust yourself, I guess. Just takes a little bit of time. Of course, that's obvious that they needed to trust you, no doubt about it. NHK, yeah. Look, NHK is the biggest channel in the world. It's amazing, but you also, the reputation is very important, and it's hard to get into NHK. Some people say, "Can you please recommend?" I can't do that. I don't know you, so unless you know somebody, you would never recommend somebody for a job that you don't know. It's very hard to do that, because when you recommend somebody, you are connected to that person, and then if you become a psychopath, then I'm a psychopath. You see how this works? It's like, it just doesn't work like that. WX Turbo got the postcard. Awesome. It traveled fast this month, didn't it? It traveled really fast. Jerry Helt, you don't need acting skills. You just need to be relaxed and be yourself and have human skills. To just have a human skill. Be yourself. Have fun. That's all you got to do when you're on TV. Have fun, relax, and be yourself. You know, everyone saw that show Joker, right? The movie Joker. Don't do that. But like, be yourself, and that's all that matters. People see that. What's next on your agenda, John? David, thank you for asking. On the agenda next week, I'm going while I'm editing, and I just ordered a computer so I can edit on the road, which is really important. I'm looking at the two new video cameras, the Sony A7S III and the Canon R5, and I'm not sure which system to go to. I'm using a GH5. I love Panasonic, but they haven't really done anything with Micro Four Thirds in a long time, so I might go to either Canon or Sony now. I'm not sure which one. But I'm going travel-wise to Osaka next week to meet with a train line that has a very interesting story. And it's something that I really want to do. And it's going to be taking me into the countryside, not the city of Osaka, but the countryside around it. And I want to do more Kansai-based videos, not in Tokyo. Kansai-based videos that are not Nara, not Kyoto, but something maybe Wakayama or Mie or Hyogo or deep Kyoto. Kyoto's actually quite large. Show you different types of places within the Kansai region. And this opportunity is pretty neat. So I'm taking the train on Tuesday, the Shinkansen. I know it's not the best time to be traveling, but it's a job. So I got to get down there and scout this out. When I come back, I'll upload the next video on Friday. So we're trying to get this once a week going. Next week after that, I'll be going to Shiga Prefecture for a job. We've set this up already. I've made the appointments and the access has been granted. So I'm looking forward to getting out to, the countryside of Kyoto. Shiga Prefecture is it's like an 8-minute train ride from Kyoto. And not a lot of people know about it. It's on Lake Biwako, surrounds it, and it's part of the Sapporo, which is this important route from Obama, the Sea of Japan, all the way to Kyoto, where the mackerel or Saba route, the fish got to the emperor in Kyoto coming on this route, as well as all the goods traded. It didn't come across to the Pacific. Most of Japan's trade came from China and Korea and the countries on that side of Asia. So the Sea of Japan side, Niigata, Obama, these ports were extremely important. Things would come to Niigata and travel overland to Tokyo. And that's what made Tokyo a little bit safer. And then when Tokyo opened up, then through Commodore Perry, then more trade was coming in through Yokohama. But a lot of the trade was coming from China in the ancient times. And Obama Port, like 1,000 years ago, was one of the biggest in Japan. Now it's just a small aged town. But Obama was a Sea of Trump. There's not a political thing. It just, Obama means small beach in Japanese, okay? It doesn't have the same meaning, but it's funny though that they embraced the last president. No, there's no Bush city or Clinton city either, okay? But there's just an Obama city. That's kind of funny. I thought that was a good video too, by the way. Actually, Arnav, I can't talk about it yet, but yes. There's so many things in the work, and I spent the last 6 months planning out and waiting for shoots, and so many shoots were canceled in March, which is a reason why the channel was kind of delayed. So many shoots were canceled in March and April and May because of the pandemic. It wasn't until June and this month that I could travel again, and locations allowed me to film. And now that that's open, I can do that. All right, I'll take one more question. Nothing about the festival. Nothing about the festival here. He'd paste in a minute. I don't know, the chat's kind of slowed down. Will you upload another Shinkansen video? As I said, maybe. I'm not going to tell you about it yet. And this is a Yeti microphone, and I have it put on the desk here. The reason why is because it's easy for me to narrate the videos now. I can just go whoosh, pull the mic down, and then I can narrate over the video and get it out much quicker. It's a great mic, the Blue Yeti. Very good mic for podcasting or talking. Yeah, Ming Hui Leong, thank you so much for writing the kanji. Yeah, it just means small beach, which is pretty cool. Thank you for recording how Japan is right now and the information you have done for us, Japan. John, I'll have another travel update in a week or so, but after I travel to Osaka, I'm going to be able to give you an update of what Kansai is like. It's a little bit different than in Tokyo, and to be able to show you what the Osaka area is doing right now, maybe even catch up with Kevin if I can. That'd be really cool, right? See Kevin at Kuma's Kitchen down there. Then I think that's a different way to give you an update about Japan. Kansai Airport, and I want to tell you all of this. This is a video actually about the Naked Man Festival if you're joining us, but Kansai Airport is actually a very good portal into Japan. A lot of people come in through Haneda and Narita, maybe because it's cheaper. But if Osaka's Kansai Airport is cheaper or the same price, consider flying into Osaka, because the Kansai region is way, way more stacked with attractions than Tokyo. Tokyo's overcrowded and overpriced. All right. Kansai region is so much more spread out, and it's very ancient, lots of history. Forget Kyoto also. You can go to Kanazawa. You can go to another region that's not that far away from Osaka. There's a lot of old places. Kyoto does not have a monopoly on it. And Kyoto was just way too crowded, I think. So Kanazawa, I felt, has always been like a breath of fresh air, because they were not bombed during World War II, and a lot of those old wooden buildings are still preserved there. The old tea houses, which are extraordinary and not nearly as crowded as Kyoto, but Kansai is a good place to fly into. And if you've flown into Tokyo before, try flying into Kansai, or even Fukuoka for that matter, because Kyushu also is a very amazing place to travel around. Not as many direct fly to US to Kansai. That's not exactly true. Well, maybe not as many, but there are many. My first flight to Japan was Northwestern Northwest KLM flight from Detroit to Kansai. And I had to change planes from Newark then in Detroit. And I was flying the Detroit route quite a lot, because that was the best route to get to Japan. It was the cheapest. Sometimes you have to make a change in order to get a better price. And why not save a couple $100, right? It's I get to see Detroit at the time. So I don't know. I think that Kansai should be a place that you should consider. And taking the Shinkansen down there, you don't really need a Shinkansen if you're in Kansai. They have a Kansai pass. And if you have a week, you can spend a week and be completely fulfilled and satisfied with the Japan trip just in Kansai without coming to Tokyo. That's an important message. I love Tokyo, but you don't have to come to Tokyo because Tokyo is not Japan. Tokyo is Tokyo. It's the big city. Japan's heart and soul is out in the countryside. It always will be. And I'll try to show you a little bit more of that again. Yes, Osaka is cheaper to fly into and Kyoto is cheaper to stay. I don't know if Kyoto is cheaper to stay because they have taxes now for tourists. That's another reason not to stay in Kyoto and to stay in Shiga, for example. Kyoto has an extra tax on hotels in there because there's so much demand to stay in Kyoto. There was before the pandemic that they just slapped the tax on to try to get people to stay elsewhere. I don't know. If you stayed in Kyoto one night, that's enough. It's a nice place, but there's so many more beautiful unexplored places that I hope to introduce you to over the series. Yeah. Let's see here. You're very welcome for the advice. This is just because I've been living here for 23 years and I know a little bit about how to make a good trip out of this, out of your time, depending on how much time you have. Maybe in the future, because as the fall comes and we start thinking about trips next year to Japan after the pandemic, it might be good to talk about that. Some itinerary live streams where you can submit questions and I'll give you suggestions. It seems to be what a lot of people are looking for that. Hey, John, did you ever have a YouTube plaque before? Yeah, I got two over there. I got a plaque. In fact, that was a Patreon postcard club. I sent the 1 million subscriber plaque to everybody. Again, like, I'm the creator and producer of Only in Japan. You know that, right? Everybody knows that. I don't have to say anything. I stayed at the Pocket Hotel. Interesting. Yeah. I think if we can get more subscribers on the new channel, I'll have a third plaque. How about them apples? And the plaque's just going to read my name. Just keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. Yeah. Kanai is teaching. We're going to be going out to the post office. We have to send some packages to our supporters. We have all the goodies to send to them. So that's going out on Monday. So we got to fulfill that. And I have some editing to do. There's a lot of stuff. There's no end to the work. I'm not getting a lot of sleep these days. Do people get sick from the cold temps during the festival? No, nobody really gets sick. I don't think that catching a cold has anything to do with the temperature. It just has to do with the virus and catching it from somebody, I believe. But everybody was in pretty good health. I think that that's one of the things, like, if you're not in good health, you don't participate in a festival. The festival is free. Thanks for bringing up the festival. That was the only question we've had about the festival in like the last 30 minutes. Let me just round out the festival. The festival is free. If you want to participate in the Naked Man Festival, any Naked Man Festival, you must contact the either the temple or shrine or the city tourism office. They'll set it up for you. In many Naked Man festivals, it's free. The city will pay for your loincloth. It's not a big cost. But sometimes there might be a 500 or 1,000 yen, $10 to pay for the equipment. I didn't pay anything for mine. But there weren't a lot of people participating, and they were very happy to have more people come. I don't think there's a lot of spots. So if you can't participate, go and watch, because it's amazing to watch this. Participating in it is a hardcore thing. You have to be good in health, all right? You have to be able to, you can't back down. You can't say, you're in it to win it if you go and you start this. Also, you have to, I guess it helps if you speak some Japanese, but even if you don't, people are pretty friendly and you probably should know the rules a little bit. Try to learn about the history as much as possible before you participate. Knowing the background of it is extremely important, and because knowing what you're doing. I was just screaming, but I knew part of the background. I didn't, because even the locals, a lot of them didn't even know why they were doing it. I asked them, why do you do this? They go, I don't know. We just do it. That's the best answer too. But in the end, it's all about feeling a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And after it, it's really easy in Japan and right now in the world to feel alone. Just the other day, we lost somebody, an actor. I think participating in these kind of festivals where you have no expectation other than to just have fun is really good for your soul, all right? I think we need to have more festivals like this. It's good for your soul to be surrounded by really good people who are all equals that are just there for one purpose: survive, fertility, not sure, but we survived, and it was a lot of fun. And I think that look for those kind of opportunities when you come to Japan. And tokyocheapo.com is a website that has an amazing festival and event listing. Not a lot of people are seeing tokyocheapo.com right now because no one's coming to Japan because tourism is like really low. But they have an amazing, and the name of it's kind of weird, Tokyo Cheapo, I know. But the site is really, really well set up, and you can see the event pages. And I'm writing articles for them now to try to build up my audience. They have good readerships over there. Festival questions on Patreon. Oh right, yeah. Okay, good. That's what the moderators are here for. Help remind me. All right, I have about 3 minutes because I gotta get back to work. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Hello Hi 821. All right, let's take a look here. Patreon questions. Here we go. With the internet, I think it's the internet problem. We've had the internet going on and off because people are at home watching Netflix and Hulu and all the other streaming services. That's why I stream in 720p even on the Wi-Fi, because the internet's. Wow, it's not even coming up. Wow. Is it laggy? Is it lagging? Huh? I think it might even be lagging. Andrea, there's so many questions. You can't expect me to not to miss one. Do bathhouses allow people in wheelchairs? That's a hard one. I don't know. If you have somebody to help you, I'm sure it's okay. You can't go to there alone because the staff just is not. Most of them are elderly and they can't help you. But if you have somebody who can help you, I think it's fine for you to go to a bathhouse. At hotels or onsen, call ahead and ask them. But more and more as we get closer to 2020, bathhouses, I don't want to say bathhouses, let's say resorts have become much more, thought much more about people with disabilities. And I think that you're going to find more chances now than just 5 years ago to be able to enjoy it. And that's a good thing, because with the Olympics coming, and this is, I can say, with the 2020 Olympics, one of the best things that happened was that there was more attention put on everybody. And when I say everybody, that means people with disabilities that really in Japan were ignored. And with the Paralympics coming, that attention came at a great time. And we're seeing more ramps, more elevators, more access for people with disabilities. So I think that it's a lot better than 5 years ago. Just always call ahead before you make a reservation, just to check and make sure. And the hotel will appreciate the heads up, so because they want to give you the best service. You can't expect them to be ready for you. I think it just makes sense. If you have anything that's different, then call ahead. And they want to give you, they want that call ahead because, and I asked them about this in another episode, they like that call ahead because they want to give you the best service possible. And they want to make sure that they have everything ready for you. And that's a good thing too. So most of the places will speak English, or you can send an email in English and they'll have time to send you an English reply. If they don't reply, then you know that then that's probably not a place to stay. Okay, Marty writes in here, how many more Frozen Naked festivals are there in Japan? Hundreds, Marty, hundreds. Clifford writes in here, how was your outfit given to you? It was just kind of given to me, and the guy put it on me. I didn't ask for it. They asked me my shoe size. I said 29 centimeters, and the tabby shoes came. Good question, Clifford. Jeffrey writes in here, how hard is it for you to put on and wear the cloth and belt? It's very hard to put it on. You need somebody to put it on for you, just like a kimono. And it's very easy to keep it on because it's on tight. So I've never seen anyone lose their fundoshi. That'd be pretty funny. Do you feel like filming these types of spiritual festivals takes a bit away from your experience? A little bit, but I'm having fun, whether I'm filming or not. That's who I am. I'm not acting. I'm having fun, and that's all I care about. So I don't think it takes away. I think it maybe even enhances it because I'm sharing it with you. So in a way, it's giving me another purpose to enjoy the festival. That's why I'm holding a GoPro, because I know that I need to have a camera from my perspective. Great question, Amanda. Brendan writes in here, I'm curious if warm water was a blessing or a curse. It was a curse, but it's better than cold water, which is a bigger curse. It was colder than Okayama. It was colder than the water there. I think when you ran through the water, it was about the same temperature as the outside. Water is like gets down to like, 32 or 0, but the temperature outside was -2, so the water was like the same temperature as the air, which is cold. But that was a curse too. My gosh, that was a tough one. I can do that one simple now after doing the Hokkaido one. Jason writes in here, regarding the experience, what did you feel was worse? The initial feeling of cold or as you went out, or the cold you experienced after briefly feeling the warm onsen water? It got colder at the end, by far. There was a little bit of a shock when I went outside, but it wasn't that much. It was when the guy threw sake at me that I knew that this was going to be a really tough time in the beginning. And once the festival started, you can stay active. But once you stop, it gets cold really fast. You have to keep moving and screaming. All right? I screamed to stay warm for survival. All right? Marty writes in here, did you keep contact details of any of the other guys? A few, but I don't know. We were like just guys, and you just go, hey, see you next year. I don't know. Like, hey, let's keep in touch and be good friends. You can try that, but I think the connection that we had was at the festival. And this year was different, though. That's a good question. It's a fair question, but because of the pandemic, we were asked by the township at the end of the festival not to go out drinking together. Normally, we would all go out and get toasted, but we decided at the end of it, let's not do that. We're not going to go out to restaurants. And anyways, Noboribetsu closes really early, but somebody always has like a restaurant open. Not this time. Because of the pandemic, we didn't really have that. So therefore, I didn't really do too many Meishi Kokan business card exchanges. Marty writes in here, Shane writes in, sorry. I know I asked this in Discord, but others may want to know as well. Is the festival open to foreigners? It is. I did it. But again, I think it's good to speak Japanese or have somebody who can help you. And make sure you ask in advance. I think it's a great thing to do. This one is very local, and maybe I'm not the first foreigner to do it, but there weren't that many before me. A lot of people watch, but not a lot of people participate. You have to be pretty tough to participate. Shane, seeing you eat the takoyaki, I know you're tough, man. Joanne writes in here, are there other events other events besides this one in the festival? There are. Noboribetsu has about 10 different events. The summer one is also quite big, but I think that's going to be canceled. They have one at the volcanic crater lake, the caldera, Lake Kutara, I think it's called. There's an event up there as well. It's really nice, but a lot of people come here from the Sapporo Snow Festival, and that's important to... It's close enough to make it a day trip, but I recommend that you stay at Noboribetsu instead of Sapporo for a night or two. How hard would you think from peso it'll be to participate in these with little or no... I think it'll be a lot harder because I think it's easier if you've seen the video, but I think you need to make a connection with people, and if you can't speak any Japanese, it's going to be really hard. Study Japanese, at least some phrases or lines, and be ready, or come with a friend who's bilingual and can help you a little bit. You'll get more out of your experience, because if you don't understand what people are saying to you, it's harder for people. Like, imagine if somebody who didn't speak English came in to a festival in the US and like this guy only speaks I don't know, he only speaks Thai, and like I don't think it makes it harder to make friends. So you have to think about it the other way around. It's the same, right? It's better if you can speak Japanese. I could speak enough. My Japanese is far from perfect, as many of you know. Some of you. Megan writes in here, we are out comet watching. Catch up when you get back home. How were the comments? Jeff Kennedy, how hard was it to put on the... Jeff knows, as our resident Kung Fu master, it was pretty hard. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I know that the signal might be going, but I got to get back to work. I appreciate all of the support here. I got some more live streams coming tomorrow morning, maybe a midnight snack run tonight or tomorrow, or in Kansai. So we got some stuff. So some next week will be a pretty active live streaming week, because the last 2 weeks I've been holding back more editing. But get ready for some live streams to come back, as well as some 360 videos on the new 360 channel, and Only in Japan is going to go full on in August. like hardcore on the road, because that's my job, to bring you to Japan because you can't make it yourself. That's what I'm going to do. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I appreciate it very much, guys. Have a good day. Have a good night wherever you are in the world. I'll be doing a Twitch live streams as well, maybe tonight. So it's been a while on Twitch, but I appreciate the support there as well. And good night or good day wherever you are in the world. See you from Tokyo, Japan.